I know it's been a while since my last Legends video, and I promise there's a really good reason for that, and that reason is crippling depression. I've mentioned it a few times before on this channel, but sometimes I just disappear for a few days, or sometimes a week, maybe even 2, and it's usually because I've just lost the will to live. But there is a silver lining. One, I'm clearly producing a video today, so you guys get that benefit, but 2, we're gonna turn my mental illness into a theme. That's right, for the rest of this week, for the next 4 days, I'm going to be featuring blue decks because I've got the blues. So this is going to be blue Sorcerer, and we're going to just basically do all the classes where it's a mono blue deck where you're essentially only splashing in the class cards. So this is Sorcerer that is heavily blue, but we've got High King Emmerich and Sorcerer's Negation. And like I said, we're going to just do this for the full week and have some fun with it at my expense. So like we always do with these deck testing videos, we're going to go ahead and jump on the ladder, play 2 games, win or lose, hopefully some wins, and see how this goes. Waiting ever so patiently. Here we go. And our opponent is on Mage. This could be interesting. Depending on the type of deck, this could be a bad matchup, actually. I've been seeing more and more Mage on the ladder just in general as of late. Not the best 2-drop, but it's at least a 2-drop, so we'll keep it. Much better 2-drop. Ideally, we top deck Crown Quartermaster here, but not the case. Anyway, yeah, I've been seeing an awful lot of Mage, specifically like Action Mage or like this mid-range tempo style Mage, not necessarily Control Mage like you would imagine, so I don't know. It's been a bit interesting. Watch yourself. Ooh, boop. Good old Manic Jack coming in. Means we'll have some decisions to make next turn between Manic Jack and Cunning Ally, but with them going with the Initiate there, it's going to be Manic Jack. Now, strong chance this ends up just getting nuked, right? Lightning Bolt's in play, but we went with Manic Jack over the Ally because while the Ally trades, so does Manic Jack, but if we want next turn, we could Manic Mutation, go to the 4/4. It does appear like that's going to be the case, so and then follow it up maybe with Cunning Ally here to saturate.
Let's do the fist.
Though we could also, if we really wanted to, shackle that with a Harpy. But the Cunning Ally means if they trade in here, then we can get a Firebolt. And we know we'll always get a Firebolt because we're mono blue, but we'll get a Firebolt to finish it off, so tempo should go back in our favor. So they do take the value trade. And again, we'll have our Firebolt to deal with that.
Face me, you dog. I have you now.
So we'll take that. And then we're basically just going to win field lane at this point by playing this here. The only way that this completely backfires is, you know, if they have a jab or an execute or something. But at this point, they're just not, they don't want to deal with this at all. They're not happy. Okay. Options that we have available. So Satanin, we lose like the amazing play, but Satanin does mean we trade even, but then we just don't develop a whole lot at that point. I really feel like Conjurer, even though it's kind of giving up a 2-for-1, Conjurer ends up being best, right? We put 3 damage on it, and we put the 3/3.
All too simple.
Put the 3/3 in the way, right? Like we're still coming ahead in terms of board development and tempo, which I think is the only thing that really matters in this regard. So, do you like giving 2-for-1s to your opponent and their amazing Hive Defenders? No, you don't like it. But if it means that we are continuing to be, you know, in control on the board, pressing our advantage, it's the right thing to do. Oh, Baron's a great pickup for us here. for a number of reasons, but here's what we are going to do. We're going to play the Satanine first, so that this can get in here before without breaking a rune. But then when the Baron comes down, that means that our Flame Atronach... And we wanted to do it this way. Yes, we're shorting ourselves 1 damage, but I really didn't want to break this rune yet. So we wanted to come in, and now we'll break it. But Satanine... So that's the other reason, right? Like, Satanine coming down means that that got buffed, and so now we get a 1/1 guard. Goldbrand! Was this secretly support mage all along? Well, let's just get in here for some damage.
Now I'm angry.
I will have your
And, alright. I mean, we have the lightning bolt, but we also have many important things on our minds, so we'll take the Encano victory, and there you have it. The power of blue. See, having the blues is not always a negative. Got some game rewards. And we're gonna just jump into one more game here, because that's what we do. 2 games, win or lose. As always, deck code will be in the video description. I'm gonna do it all week, but the reality is all of these decks are so similar because they're literally the exact same deck with 4 cards swapped out for the entire week that you'll be able to, you know, figure it out pretty quickly, I think. But nonetheless, we're gonna do what we always do. No, we throw this back. This is a solid start for us, but we really want to find a Crown Quartermaster, and we did not, so. We're up against Telvanni, and we're up against Katic Norwal, who, if you're not familiar, active member of the community, very quality player, so we have our work cut out for us. This will not be
The Night Mother will
a pushover game by any means. And they start with Skill Golem. It's gonna eat our ward, but we still got to contest field lane. We got to do that. The rest of our hand is really clunky. We might lose this just to ourselves. Don't get me wrong, you like having Sorcerer's negation, but you like having a curve even more.
Talking Mudcrab Merchant.
Mudcrab Merchant.
Read my lips. Mouthpaw.
So either this is like a conscription Telvanni, or they are on some sort of
For the Black Hat.
aggro. Wow, they gave us a fork. I gotta say, I'm actually pretty intrigued by that.
Out of my sight. Let's shed some
I think they
light
might be on some sort of like mid-range or aggressive version of Telvanni, because not only are they playing Mudcrab Merchant, which is traditionally an aggressive card, but they didn't break my ward. Like, they went face. You know, they weren't valuing getting rid of that. I mean, maybe they just assumed I was going to take the trade, but
Did I stutter or something?
that actually did me a favor if they don't have some sort of other trick. Now, maybe they don't think they've done me a favor, but maybe they assume that I actually have cards to play. You know, because I'm Sorcerer and I should. But I really don't. So I'm looking forward to developing this fork. And yeah, I do think they're on some sort of mid-range list now. So we
I
will
have you now.
go ahead and just draw some cards.
Out of my sight.
I keep a spare blade in my boot.
And now we've got a fistful of them. We're actually close to overdrawing. Like, if they have like a Cliff Racer here, they could totally make me overdraw. Now, we could have denied the tome, right? Like, we could have used a negation, but at this point, I don't think that they're going to be running out of cards anytime soon. And yeah, see, we're rewarded for our patience. Saving the negation for just getting rid of the more important threats, I was about to say, made more sense. They probably were using this as bait. We have to decide now, do we... Yeah, I think we just take the value trade here instead of using a firebolt.
Let's shed some light on the problem.
We have a lot of revealed cards for our opponent. They know about this card, and this card. But that's okay. Let them stare at our answers, our beautiful ways to get in there. Abner might just end up making another firebolt we don't have something better to play next turn. So I guess we could also maybe use Satanine. I have used Abner to copy Satanine before, but one or the other has to happen. We need to get at least one creature above 5 attack so that we can give ourselves the opportunity to Conjuring on curve. The reason I was leaning more towards Abner is because if you develop him in the Shadow Lane, his 5 health and his protection from cards like Viper means he's more likely to survive. But
We draw power from
with our
their
opponent
blood.
developing like so, it makes more sense for us to make use of some of our tools here. So do something like that
I come buried.
into this.
I have you now.
Break the rune. We're gonna end up shackling here, and then just because it won't break the rune until next turn, we'll do this. So we just have to hope now that our Cunning Ally survives for a turn so we can get the Conjuring developed. I don't think it's gonna happen. Yeah, here comes the Viper. But I still think that was probably the best use of our Magicka that turn.
My Arcane Beard. This day will be mine.
Oh, that's cheeky fun. We still end up breaking the rune because of our Flame Slinger, though. So this does 4, but we're not quite getting there. But we can still nuke that, which is entirely reasonable. So I think that's what we're gonna do, right? Let's just go ahead. We'll hit that. We'll put some damage on it. Doesn't really matter a ton. Let's go with a Harpy here. And then, do we just want to use this Firebolt to get rid of the ward? I think not. I think we're just gonna wait. Let's hold on to it. No reason to use that tool quite yet. It's very important, however, that we got rid of the Clan Sorcerer because these things do die at the start of the turn, and it's a sacrifice, so they do count towards this, right? Like,
3 gods.
it's a cheeky plan from our opponent. All right, so they make it so we can't target it. No negation, no firebolt. Still relatively okay. So I think in an instance like this, what we're looking to do is just push our damage
Out of my sight.
first, because we want to be able to deal with whatever this prophecy is. That's not very kind. Now, is it? Okay, you could see an argument to be made about something like Elfic Conjurer here and negation. I think that's the way we're gonna go, largely because as much as I want to get Tharn up and running, I think that saving him to copy this makes more sense, and it also means that we have a 5 cost creature to maybe develop that, so
Khajiit will keep you
I
safe.
think this makes the most sense. Let's go ahead and just eat our Crown Quartermaster, and we'll use the negation here just to further kind of take control of this field lane. Because with the ward and the tome, you know, they could eat this and still have plenty of Magicka left over to deal with stuff, so since we suspect them as being on like a mid-range list, we're going to do that. It is worth noting, however, that it could very well still be Singleton. We have not seen a duplicate of anything yet. So this could just be Singleton Telvanni, and that is another thing that we need to be concerned about. We do not have any reach in hand at the moment, but we do still have our bolts and Ancano in the deck. We do have Baron, right? That would be a plus.
Hope that
Baron would be enough for lethal, actually, assuming that they don't just turn around and play the guard. Well, actually, no, yeah, that's gonna deny it. But Baron theoretically was enough for lethal. This will just pop the ward, so that works out pretty nicely for us. Yeah, based on the cards I'm seeing... Oh, it's not going to pop the ward. Fair enough. Based on the cards I'm seeing, though... Ooh, there's the Baron, too! Aw. I was about to say, I do feel like this is likely Singleton at this point. So now our decision is we can play Rootbender and Baron. Or... we can just Mighty Conjuring. Mighty Conjuring seems... okay. I mean, we could also get rid of this. Could pop the ward and then just... trade. It's kind of a tough call. I think we just go face... I think we still do pop the ward here. But we also just make a big boy. Because then that means they have to deal with multiple things over there. And, you know, even if they trade here and have removal for this, as long as these two survive, that's enough for lethal with the Baron. We can swing with this to get it to 6, and then the Baron makes that go up above. That, however, changes things for us.
Care to make a friendly wager?
Yeah, if I had to guess, I'd say this is certainly a Singleton list. We are, it would appear, 1 off of lethal, which is no, we are still capable of lethal. Oh, how funny! So this pops the ward. Baron comes down, which means that this will get 1 breakthrough damage, and then this gets us there by skipping the rune. So the Baron of Tear brings a tear to our opponent. And that is it. That's 2 games, win or lose. So, if you made it this far, I appreciate you. Thanks for watching, and until next time, may you walk on warm sands.